People of Reddit who have encountered ghosts or other supernatural beings, what was your experience like? What happened?
The rain had been relentless all evening, pouring in thick, unyielding sheets that drenched the small, remote village. Thunder rolled across the sky, its deep growl shaking the ground and echoing through the narrow streets. I was at the newly constructed hospital, perched on the village's edge. It was a stark, sterile building, standing defiantly against the elements, surrounded on one side by a dense, foreboding forest. The hospital had been a source of hope for the villagers, a symbol of progress in a place where time seemed to stand still, but tonight it felt anything but hopeful. The storm had cast long, shifting shadows across its walls, and an unnatural stillness clung to the air inside, broken only by the hum of the generators. I was stationed at the nurse's desk, my eyes occasionally drifting to the windows that rattled with the wind. It was during one of those glances that I saw it. Just beyond the tree line, a tall, dark figure stood motionless, barely visible through the rain. My heart skipped as my gaze locked onto its glowing yellow eyes. They shone like two dull lanterns, unblinking and fixed on me. The figure didn't move, and neither did I. The thunder roared, illuminating the scene for a split second. But by the time the lightning's brilliance faded, it was gone, swallowed by the storm and the shadows of the forest. I tried to convince myself that my mind was playing tricks on me. After all, it was late and the storm was unsettling. But no amount of rationalizing could shake the pit of dread forming in my stomach. Something wasn't right. The hours dragged on, and just as the storm seemed to reach its zenith, the hospital's lights flickered and died. The emergency generator failed to kick in. We were left in utter darkness, save for the occasional flash of lightning that painted the walls with fleeting, distorted shapes. The temperature dropped abruptly. It wasn't the kind of chill the storm brought. It felt unnatural, like icy fingers crawling along my spine. Then came the first knock. It was faint but deliberate. 3 distinct taps on one of the far windows. Everyone froze, the silence in the hall broken only by the rain. Moments later, it came again. 3 knocks, this time louder and from a different window. Then another and another. The sound began moving around the building, always 3 knocks, slow and deliberate. The patients stirred uneasily in their beds, and a few of the staff huddled together, their faces pale in the dim glow of our flashlights. And then, from one of the rooms, a blood-curdling scream shattered the air. It was an elderly patient, a man who had been stable earlier in the night. His eyes were wide with terror, and he clawed at his blankets as though trying to hide from something only he could see. "He's coming!" he screamed, his voice raw and hoarse. "Don't open the door! Don't open it!" We tried to calm him, but his screams only grew louder, echoing through the darkened hallways. "He's coming!" he repeated, his gaze darting wildly toward the windows, as though expecting something to burst through at any moment. And then, as suddenly as it began, the knocking stopped. Silence fell, heavy and oppressive. No one moved or spoke, each of us straining to hear anything beyond the sound of the storm. Minutes felt like hours before the first pale rays of dawn began to seep through the windows. When the lights finally came back on, we ventured outside, hesitant and wary. That's when we saw them, hoof marks, impossibly large and deep, imprinted in the muddy ground. They circled the entire hospital, stopping at the very windows where we'd heard the knocks. The trail led us to the edge of the forest, where it abruptly disappeared into the dense trees. Whatever had been out there was gone, leaving only those sinister marks as proof of its presence. But as we stared into the woods, the feeling of being watched returned. It clung to me, a cold, suffocating weight, as though whatever had visited us during the storm hadn't truly left. It was still there, hidden in the shadows, waiting for its moment to return. If this chilling tale gave you goosebumps, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories like this into Ghostly Echoes. Until next time.